Hi, thanks a lot for the introduction. This is Harsha Kadamiseti. I'm the co-founder and CEO at Airchain. Airchain is one of the next generation procurement platforms innovating the way procurement is done in enterprises, right? Today, I'm here to speak about, what are the pain points in terms of technology, right? What is today's reality and what is that users are expecting or, enterprises are expecting out of procurement platforms today? And what are the trends which we see working with a lot of clients? What are the trends we see upcoming in the procurement industry? And what is that we are trying to do to achieve, solve some of the problems in the area, right? So I haven't really prepared a lot of slides, but I would love to cover some of these areas in detail, right? All bases our experience working with world-class clients, right? So the first thing which I would want to touch upon would be, the procurement tech industry. What is the current state of the available solutions? How is it being done today in the market, and what is it moving towards? What are enterprises looking for? Right? We have consistent feedback calls, a lot of discovery calls with a ton of clients trying to understand their pain points and how is it they're trying to solve it or what is that they're looking for. So this is basis our experience over the last 3 years working with more than 100 enterprises. We have come up with a landscape of how procurement tech really looks like, right? The first problem which most of the enterprises talk about is that their solutions are enabling them to just do a workflow based automation, right? I mean, they have all the digital procurement suites, but it's still people will have to get onto those tools, process their transactions. I mean, just to give an example of one of our clients, right, before us, they were using prominent procurement, e-procurement tools, and they have a team of 50, close to 50 procurement professionals trying to almost process similar standard requirements on a regular basis in the right channel to the right vendor, right? Most of it is repetitive and not uh, as strategic as what one would want to do, right? So this leading into a lot of manual efforts and lost time, and of course, right, lost procurement morale, right, in processing each one of this. So this is one of the problems. People are looking for something beyond workflows, beyond how data can help them autonomize the entire process, right? And the second thing, as I've started upon, is that lost intelligence, right? When you're processing each one of this transaction, and there are so many interactions happening with vendors, users, procurement teams, finance teams, right? All of this data is just sitting in silos in multiple systems, or probably in a ERP, but users are not able to leverage each one of this data, right? How do you how can system learn from each of these data points, interact uh, with the user to learn more and more, right? In terms of, how does a vendor negotiate or, which vendors are really good in this particular category, or how does a negotiation in this category works, right? And what are the categories I need to focus on? All of this can be learned, can be driven from data, the insights on these, and can be made 1,000 times better than what it is today, right? So this is one of the problems. And imagine a category manager working in a particular industry for about, let's say, 5, 10 years. Imagine the amount of intelligence he would have gained in that category. And what if that professional moves to another organization? The entire intelligence is going along with the procurement professional, right? So, how do enterprises retain this intelligence on how to optimize their procurement in a particular category, right? Third problem, which we always keep talking about, is adoption, right? More than 70% of the enterprises today do not have any visibility. They are clueless on whether it is being optimized or not beyond their tier one suppliers, right? Their core raw materials, commodities, and let's say to an extent packaging materials, depending on the industry, or some direct components. Beyond that, people really do not try to look at adopting or getting close to, let's say, 100% adoption for the entire procurement because it's too chaos. They see this entire digital transformation of procurement as a monster, which is coming to eat them away, right? How can you make it simpler? How can you take the technology to their existing platforms with almost negligible learning curve, so that this looks like they are doing whatever they're doing, but in the back end, a lot of heavy lifting is happening to still digitize this entire process, right? And we have customers talking to us about, hey, I don't want to go and type a long form or, given a lot of details, right? I just want to talk to the system, and think system should do the work for me. Like how I say a Google to do certain things for me, or an Alexa to do some things for me. Can we really move towards procurement? Can something happen in this procurement space which is as simple as talking to a system, right? uh, this I mean, the thing going about taking this technology to their existing channels like emails, WhatsApp, even Excels and voice bots is going to increase the adoption not only internally but also among the vendors, like thousands, tens of thousands of suppliers which an enterprise is dealing with, right? How can technology really take this problem of adoption and just eliminate it and make it as simple as how we place an order on a Amazon or a Flipkart, right? And another chaos which we consistently keep coming across, right, is that there is a solution, there is something which is defined, and let's try to replicate the same across different categories of procurement, right? Every category, the way in which it has to be bought, the way in which it has to be negotiated, the way in which it has to be uh, optimized is completely different for every category. And more so than ever, we are talking about users telling the system, saying hey, this is what you need to do. But gone are those days, right? We are talking about system telling the users on this is how you'll have to do, this is what you'll have to do. And if it is not able to do it, keep learning from different users, right? I mean, there are tons and tons of intelligence being generated by the category managers. Learn the intelligence from the system and tell it back on a larger scale, right? This is how you will have to do. So this is something we have seen missing. If I'm talking about buying a laptop, there is a different complexity. If I'm talking about engaging a consultant or a software service provider, the way in which it has to be procured is completely different, and no one person can have it all, right? And how do you keep making it better? By learning from each and every category manager on how it has to be done, right? So there is a different way. And we have seen the next problem we have seen is a dynamic pricing in some of the industries like F&B, pharma, electronics, and semiconductors, right? The prices keep fluctuating almost on a regular basis, sometimes daily, sometimes weekly, right? Now, how do you optimize? And most of the customers ended up, just optimizing their top 5%, 10% of their procurement where it is fluctuating, trying to make like clean cost sheet models, looking at multiple exchanges, trying to optimize on a weekly basis. Some of them have tried, using recurring reverse options to optimize this. But how scalable is this, right? A recent customer we were speaking to, he procures around 2,000 chemicals on an average monthly basis, and all he gets to optimize is, let's say, top 20 chemicals, right? And everything else is just uh, they hope that it is being done the best way possible, but there is no one really having the bandwidth to look into each one of those, right? And the last problem, right? With most of the problems, as I've told you earlier as well, they see at procurement technologies as a monster. But look at all the other systems we are using today, right? If I want to get started with any SaaS application, I get started on the same day and try to understand it myself, configure it myself, and get started in no time. You know, they do not have the patience to go through a lot of series of workshops, trainings, hypercare, customizations. Like that is that is probably 10 years old, right? And almost every other industry is moving towards self-service SaaS platforms, so that they can get started, try it out, see how it can work, optimize it, and realize the value at the end of the day really, really fast, as opposed to quarters and years of implementations and hypercare and adoptions, and then going really, really slow. And by the time they achieve whatever they have to achieve, there is some other technology coming and disrupting the whole way it is being done, right? So we need to be agile, we need to be quick. So this is one consistent feedback which we consistently get from all of our customers saying that, right? We want to go live yesterday, right? We want to get started. We don't want the pain. We want our users to love this. We want them to love the change, right? This is something which is almost every enterprise's expectation, especially after looking at the technology disruption in the B2C world and other industries, where technology just I go to a food delivery app. I place my order in less than 30 seconds. They have made it so easy for me, right? I really don't have to use my brain on what I have to do. So that's where we are moving towards, and that's where the world is moving towards. And procurement will definitely reach there tomorrow. But yeah, today it still stands as an unsolved problem, right? Some of the trends which we are seeing, enterprises moving towards, right? First thing is digital. Uh, Earlier, right, maybe a couple of years back, we have seen customers, trying so hard to get budgets for this, right? Okay, I need to make a business case. I need to calculate my FT efficiency. I need to look at, what is the cost saving I can get? How can I prove this to my management whether this is a good initiative or not? But today, the discussion has completely changed, right? We are seeing that we need it by default. Now which is the tool to go after? What is solving majority of my use cases, and let me get started, right? Budgets are coming in for digital without even asking, right? People are pushing for digital transformation. There are digital teams coming across every single enterprise. And yeah, I mean, the decision factor is how well you can solve my problem, or and not really how much you can at the end of the day save me. Even if it is, we are speaking to customers, it's okay, I know it is a need. You don't have to provide me a business case, no ROI. Tell me, can you solve me these 10 problems? If yes, then yeah, let's go move forward, right? That's the pace at which industry is moving overall, and we are happy to be in this space at this time, right? One of the major shifts, right? Most of the enterprises have gone with outsourcing partners for a lot of repetitive activities, a lot of things which they feel that are not core to it, because there was no technology which can do it the way they want it. And they cannot have it in house, right? That's going to be a huge, you're talking about, let's say, if it's an AP team, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of invoices for an enterprise. Or if you're talking about sourcing for indirect materials, we are talking about maybe managing each enterprise managing more than 50,000 suppliers across some 500,000 requirements in a year, right? It cannot be humanly done, and I have to have a huge team. So they're depending on outsourcing agencies. But with the change what technology can offer today, people are trying to see that, okay, this technology can help me do this better without having to have, maybe without having the need to have a lot of human capital, and do it better than the outsourcing agency. Why not insource it completely? Insourcing is a major trend which we are all seeing. And the next one is, how can systems be API first, right? We are in an API economy. Everything has an API. Every system talks to everyone else. Like, I mean, if you see, Google almost knows everything about us. It keeps tracking. It is open to a lot of other systems where you're going to, right? Even if you see on the other side of the industry, right? If you're talking about a Salesforce plus a Freshworks and a HubSpot, even though they're all CRMs, every system talks to each other in a matter of clicks. They really, I mean, but if you see on the procurement side, there are there are so many engineers trying to do a lot of integrations, man hours, doing these for months and months, right? How do you eliminate this, make it completely API friendly? Because talking to other systems is the need of the hour, right? Because every problem has a specific superior solution which can be solved. One system cannot solve it. So the only way to get the complete thing, let's say in procurement, we're talking about invoice automation, AI powered AP automation. We are talking about contract automation, and then we are talking about sourcing automation, right? AI based resourcing, tail spend sourcing, and then someone is coming up with analytics, right? How can all of these systems integrate with each other seamlessly, which benefits the overall ecosystem as well, right? In leveraging this trend. So this is something they say, how open are you to talking to my systems is the first question they talk about. And if we keep ourselves more and more open, all the new platforms coming in, this is going to be a game changer in this industry as well very soon, right? And the last thing, in one of the trends, earlier people say, "Oh, this is my vendors, my only I'll have to leverage out of it. I've built it, let's say over a few years now. It's all mine." But getting a vendor information has become nothing these days, right? You search Google, or let's say an India specific problem. You search on India Mart, you get a vendor, get the contact, get the email, whatever. It's very simple because vendors are out there looking for more and more business. They're trying to make themselves more and more visible, right? So how can I leverage the entire vendor network of, let's say, other enterprises? How can I share my vendor base to help them out? And finally, the differentiator is on how well you're managing your suppliers rather than identifying the right supplier at the end of the day. Even if you identify, if you don't manage it, your total cost of ownership is still going to be really high. So, vendor relationships, vendor NPS, vendor management has become more critical rather than just, okay, I have this set of vendors who I'm very proud about, right? These are the trends which we see, industries moving towards. And these are some of many, of course, but there are going to be a lot of more and more insights, a lot of problems which keep coming in overall, right? So at Airchain, we are trying to solve each one of this in a unique and a different way. Uh, would always love to share more details to whoever wants to know more. But on a broader level, we try to use intelligence, build intelligence on all the data which is being generated every single second, and try to do it better every single day, right? So starting from identifying the right supplier, identifying the right channel, how much to negotiate with, whether to process it by a contract or a single spot buy, processing each one of those invoices without having to train or make templates, right? We use our deep learning to be able to process data or extract data from any kind of invoice. And we have just completely made the vendor support and vendor management as simple as chatting with the system. Any vendor can talk to a system on WhatsApp or a chatbot and get queries resolved in real time, reconciliations done in real time, and get the complete visibility what they have been struggling to get it without having to learn a new platform. They can be on their existing mails and WhatsApp and still continue to do what they want to do, right? Overall, the procurement tech landscape is just getting disrupted. These are some of the areas the highlighted areas are the ones which we are operating on. But overall, there's a lot of innovation happening in the procurement space, and we are excited to be a part of this journey. Right? Thank you all for your time. Thanks for your patience. Would love to get in touch, learn more from each one of you, and see how we can add value. Thank you.